जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदा नंदना जय व्रज जन रंजना। जय जामुना तीरावन चारी जय कुंज बिहारी। जय जामुना तीरावन चारी जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी। जय यशोदानंदना जय व्रज जन रंजना। जय जामुना तीरावन चारी जय कुंज बिहारी। जय जामुना तीरावन चारी जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा गोपीनाथ राधा गोपीनाथ राधे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा निताय गौरा हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्रीमद्भय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Jai निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे Hare Krishna, dear Prabhu's Matajis. So nice to be here after a long break. So this morning we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, 7th chapter, text number 48 and 49. Please repeat after me. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narotamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudirayet nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय मैत्रेय उवाच इति दक्षा कविर्यज्ञम् भद्ररुद्राभिमर्शितम् कीर्त्यमाने ऋषिकेशे सन्निन्ये यज्ञभावने मैत्रेय उवाच इति दक्षा कविर्यज्ञम् भद्ररुद्राभिमर्शितम् कीर्त्यमाने ऋषिकेशे सन्निन्ये यज्ञभावने इति दक्षा कविर्यज्ञम् भद्ररुद्राभिमर्शितम् कीर्त्यमाने ऋषिकेशे सन्निन्ये यज्ञभावने प्रभुस् मैत्रेय उवाच इति दक्षा कविर्यज्ञम् मैत्ररुद्राभिमर्शितम् Vridyamane Rishikeshe Sannidhe Yajna Bhavane Daksha Kaviragna Pravitra Vimarshita Nityamane Rishikeshe Sannidhe Yajna Bhavane Maitreya Vacha Yatiradha Kaviyagnam Bhadrarudra Minvarsitam Nityamane Rishikeshe Sannidhe Yajna Bhavane. Mataji se Maitreya Vacha Iti Drakshya Kavim Yagnam Bhadrarudra Vimarshitam Kirtamane Vijikeshe Sannidhe Yajna Bhavane. Maitreya Vacha Iti Daksha Kavidyajnam Bhadrarudra Vimarshitam Kirtyamane Rishikeshe Sannidhe Yajna Bhavane. Maitreya Vacha Iti Bhaksha Kavirjagnam Bhadrarudra Vimarshitam Kirtyamane Rishikeshe Sannidhe Yajna Bhavane. Word to word. Maitreya Vacha said Iti thus Dakshaha Daksha Kavihi being purified in consciousness Jagnam the sacrifice Bhadra O Vidura Rudra Abhimarshitam devastated by Veerbhadra Kirtyamane being glorified Rishikesha Lord Vishnu Sanninye arranged for restarting Yajna Bhavane the protector of sacrifice. Translation by His Loving Divine Grace I.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Please repeat. Sri Maitreya said, after Lord Vishnu was glorified by all present, Daksha, his consciousness purified, arranged to begin again the yajna which had been devastated by the followers of Lord Shiva. Text 49. Bhagavan svena bhagena sarvatma sarva bhagabhuk daksham bhabasha abhasya priyamana ivanagaha. Translation. Maitreya continued, my dear sinless Vidura, Lord Vishnu is actually the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. Yet, because of his being the supersoul of all living entities, he was satisfied simply with his share of the sacrificial offerings. He therefore addressed Daksha in a pleasing attitude. Word to word. Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu, Svena, with his own, Bhagena, with the share, Sarvatma, the super soul of all living entities. Sarvabhagabhug, the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. The important point here is that he is the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices, yet here it is said he only took a portion, bhagena. Daksham, Daksha, babhashe, said, abhashya, addressing, priyamanaha, being satisfied, iva, as, anagha, or sinless vidura. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, please hear. In Bhagavad Gita 5.29 it is said, Bhoktaram Jagna Tapasam. Lord Vishnu or Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of the all results of sacrifices, austerities and penances. In whatever one may engage, the ultimate goal is Vishnu. If a person does not know that he is misled. As the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu has nothing to demand from anyone. He is self-satisfied, self-sufficient, but he accepts the offerings of yajna because of his friendly attitude toward all living entities. When his share of sacrificial results was offered to him, he appeared very pleased. It is said in Bhagavad Gita 9.26, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati. If any devotee offers him even a small leaf or a flower or water, if it is offered with love and affection, the Lord accepts it and is pleased. Although he is self-sufficient and does not need anything from anyone, he accepts such offerings because as super soul he has such friendly attitude toward all living entities. Another point here is that he does not encroach upon another's share. In the yajna, there is a share for the demigods, Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, and a share for Lord Vishnu. He is satisfied with his own share and does not encroach upon others. Indirectly, he indicated that he was not satisfied with Daksha's trying to deny Lord Shiva his share. Maitreya addressed Vidura as sinless because Vidura was a pure Vaishnava and he never committed any offense to any demigod. Although Vaishnavas accept Lord Vishnu as the supreme, they are not prone to offend demigods. They give demigods proper respect. Vaishnavas accept Lord Shiva as the best Vaishnava. For a Vaishnava, there is no possibility of offending any demigods. And the demigods are also pleased with the Vaishnava because they are faultless devotees of Lord Vishnu. Jai Bhaktivedanta Purports Ki. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Shri Guruma Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taprobhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Bhutair mahadbhiryayima puro vibhu nirmayashete yadamushu purusha bhungte gunan shodashatmaka solang krisishta bhagavan vachamsi me. Sri Krishna Sharanam Sharanagatam Katha Amritam Satatapibatam Bhakti Vedanta Marga Panthanam Sarvaloka Rishideva Janna Prasannam Sarvaloka Rishideva Janna Prasannam. Hare Krishna, dear Prabhu's Matajis. So this chapter is titled Sacrifice Performed by Daksha, and in reality Daksha is only able to perform this sacrifice when there is harmony reigning amongst all the personalities who were involved in this sacrifice. This canto is very interesting because it describes devotional service done by different personalities in different modes of nature. So the first example is given here of Daksha. He performed the devotional service in what mode? Mode of ignorance, tamoguna. And the symptom of the mode of ignorance of devotional service is that I only know the Lord and I don't care about anyone else. I don't care about the devotees of the Lord. And such devotional service will result in madness, and the results will be very catastrophic. And in this instance we see that Daksha had to pay a very heavy price, the life of his own daughter. And then after this chapter ends, immediately the example of devotional service in Rajoguna is given. What is the example of that? Dhruva Maharaj. He was not interested in devotional service. He was very passionate about gaining an unrivaled kingdom, even greater than his great-grandfather. He was pierced by the harsh words. So this attitude that whoever has hurt me, I'll get back at them in a better way. But he was very fortunate that he had the guidance of his good mother. And also, Krishna inspired Narad Muni. And as such, he was guided in the right direction, although his intentions were misplaced. And then there is the example of devotional service in mode of goodness. What is the example, or which personality is the example of that? Prithu Maharaj. Very good, Prabhu. So Prithu Maharaj, as we know, he undertook the sacrifice of Ashwamedha Yagna, and he had done 99, 100 was about to be completed, and Indra became insecure, and Indra tried to disrupt the Yagna. And in the process, Prithu Maharaj actually became angry. So even in mode of goodness, one can fall from that calm position. But his good fortune again, Brahmaji intervened and said, let there only be 99. And Prithu, you be satisfied with 99. And because Prithu Maharaj was in mode of goodness, even though he had slipped a bit and anger had taken over him, he was immediately able to respond to Brahma's request. If someone else would be there, They said, why? I've already done 99. Let me finish 100. And he would fight with Brahmaji. A mode of ignorant person would fight. Mode of ignorant person has this thing, I am right. He's not worried about the relationships. He values himself more than anything else. And we see that result in Daksha Prajapati. And then the example of devotional service in pure goodness is given. Who are the examples of devotional service in pure goodness in the 4th canto? Prachetas. So Prachetas, the sons of Prachena Barhi, they undertook great austerity. They went under the water for 10,000 years, and Lord Vishnu became very pleased with them, and Lord Vishnu appeared. And as soon as Lord Vishnu appeared, and Lord Vishnu wanted to give them benediction, and what did Prachetas ask for as benediction? That, my Lord, we only desire the association of your pure devotees. And how did they qualify that? Those devotees who are always singing your glories. So Lord Vishnu was available to the Prachetas. However, they did not ask for association of Lord Vishnu. They asked for the association of Lord Vishnu's pure devotees. And this is sum total of devotional service, that the association of devotees is more valuable. Because in association of devotees, we can constantly remain intoxicated in the pastimes of Krishna. Wonderful way spoken by, I think, Kardamba Muni. Lokamscha lokanugatam pasumscha hitva shritaste charanat patram parasparam tvad gunavad siddhu piyusha niryapita deha dharma. He says that in this world, generally people are following the general populace, whatever madness that goes around in the material world. However, he describes such as pashumscha, it's beastly. Because people out there are just for their own meat and bones. And for that purpose, they are willing to put anyone down and out. So he recommends hitva shritaste, this kind of mentality, this competitive spirit. Just now we had Nrsimha Chaturdasi, and we see Prahlad Maharaj, he could not understand what's the big deal about this diplomacy, political science, economic development. Naved idsham jagat. He could not understand the ways of the world because he was very simple. To him, only Krishna consciousness mattered because Krishna consciousness nourished him. But the material world, unfortunately, is not like that. Everyone is just so competitive, and that competition actually leads no one nowhere. So his recommendation is what? Hitva shritaste charanata patram, that one has to give up this competitive mentality. Devotees give up this competitive mentality. If Krishna can maintain thousands of animals in the forest, thousands of kilos of elephant he can maintain, then why wouldn't he maintain me? This is one of the aspects of Sharanagati. Avasya raksive Krishna visvasa palana. That Krishna will surely protect me, Krishna will surely maintain me. So what do the devotees do? After rejecting the material ways, charanat patram, they take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, which is described as an umbrella. Atapatram means an umbrella, which protects one from the scorching heat of the repeated cycle of birth and death in this material world. But how do they do that? Parasparam tvad gunavad siddhu. They, with one another, parasparam means with one another, they discuss gunavad siddhu, the Vad means the words describing guna, qualities of Krishna, and Sidhu very nicely Prabhupada translates it as intoxicating. So Krishna's pastimes are so intoxicating, piyusha, and it's nectar. And when one drinks the intoxicating nectar of Krishna's pastimes, then niryapita deha dharma, then his material necessities become vanquished. Usually, deha dharma, the material necessities of eating, sleeping, mating, defending, this remains very prabal, very prominent. But devotional service, what happens? These requirements decline, and the devotee is nourished by Krishna consciousness. I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. That famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam is there. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgranti api urkrame kurvanti ahaitu kim bhaktim itham bhuta guno harihi. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains the verse in 61 different types, 61 different meanings in Chaitanya Charitamrita to Sanatana Goswami. And in explanation to that verse, I found it so nice that Krishna in material world maintains the living entities by his external energy, Maya. And the laws of Maya, laws of material energy are very harsh. Living entities have thousands of desires, and they're implicated in the material nature thousands of times. It is illusory. It is a perverted reflection. Real enjoyment or pleasure one does not experience, but one is slapped again and again by the illusory energy of the Lord. And this is how the illusory energy maintains one in material world, by only giving false hope, hoping against the hope. Asha, pasha, it is said. However, in the Vaikuntha planets, Krishna maintains the inhabitants by his Sad Aishvarya. Satvena yan mridayate bhagavan bhagena. The all beauty, all wealth, all strength, all fame, all knowledge, and all renunciation. This actually nourishes and maintains the jivas in the spiritual world of Vaikuntha. But in Goloka Vrindavan, the topmost planet of Krishna, how does Krishna maintain and nourish his devotees? Simply by love. Simply by love. And those who are in Grahastha ashram may have experienced this to some extent, that initially, when we like someone and we are courting, and then we have that so-called love for a moment, time, or maybe for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 year, 2 years maybe. Our Guru Maharaj to say, first there is engagement ring, then there is wedding ring, and then there is suffering. So eventually suffering will come. That is the Grahastha ashram. It forces us to take ashraya of Krishna. If we don't voluntarily do it, we'll be forced to. So this suffering is the teaching. But when one is in love for that, whatever time it may be, they are completely nourished by that love. Meaning, they don't feel hungry. They don't feel like sleeping. They always feel like talking to their beloved, seeing their beloved. They are lost, There were few songs, I can't remember anymore. Anyway, they were material songs. But just imagine if that condition materially we have experienced to that little extent, for that little time, but eternally and perpetually, if we experience that love, how nourished we would be. We would not want anything else. We would not want to go anywhere else except the highest planet, Golok Vrindavan. So simply by love, Krishna is nourishing everyone in Golok Vrindavan and in Vrindavan. And how nice it would be, therefore, to simply resist the material temptations and surrender to the Lord. In the meantime, coming back to this pastime, we start off devotional service in whatever mode prominent we are situated in. Bhagavatam says there are 3 modes, and there is different combinations and permutations of these 3 modes, and it's 81 in total. So 3 times 3 is 9 mixture of 9 modes. At different times we are in different modes, and then 9 times 9, 81. 81 permutations and combinations of these modes are there. And in the process of this, we may inadvertently cause offenses and sins, and especially cause offense to devotees. So this episode is a great example to firstly analyze ourselves, which mode we are situated in. In Bhagavad Gita, I think chapter 13 or 14, the 3 modes of material nature, Krishna there says to Arjuna, this is the most important knowledge I am giving you. And we may question, most important knowledge, isn't that Bhakti Yoga? And Srila Prabhupada in the purport further emphasizes that this is the most important knowledge. Why? Because if a child wants to study medicine, he wants to become a doctor, he's 6 years old, what is the most important grade for that child at that time? Grade 1. So similarly, if we are situated in a certain mode, for example, mode of ignorance, then it is important for us to know how to deal with that mode. And Bhagavad Gita tells us, the results of the mode of ignorance. It will result in catastrophe, disaster, laziness, sleep, lethargy. And one has to basically come out of this. And when we read the pastimes of how Daksha, in that mode, caused so much offense, so similarly, we may be able to judge ourselves, or our superiors may be able to tell us, hey, this is not, what you are doing is not right. You have to mend your ways. And if we are receptive to it, we can rise to higher modes and ultimately to mode of pure goodness. Important point here is that Lord Shiva is described as all merciful. And in the previous verses we have read already, when Brahmaji requests Lord Shiva to please stop this punishment, then Lord Shiva speaks that I took no offense against the demigods or Daksha. That is the magnanimity of Lord Shiva. And Sati, before giving her life, she gays, Doshan Pareshan hi Guneshu Sadhavo Grinanti Kvachin na Bhavadrisha Dvija. She speaks to her father that, dear father, or Dvija, you are supposed to be a Brahmana. However, Dosham Paresham, the greatness of my husband, Lord Shiva, is that Gunamsha Phalgu Bahuvo Karishavo. If anyone has insignificant good quality, Shiva will magnify it. But Gunamsha Phalgun, if anyone has any little bad quality, Lord Shiva will minimize it. He does not take offense. But you have insulted a great devotee, a great Vaishnava. And because I'm born from you, this body is no longer fit to worship Lord Shiva, because you have offended Lord Shiva. And Bhagavatam says she self-immolated herself. However, when Brahmaji requests Lord Shiva the greatness of Lord Shiva, he says, I didn't take any offense. Then why did you cause all this havoc? Oh, just to punish them so that they can mend their ways. So the punishment that we get from material nature is, we have to recognize that nothing unjust happens in this world, firstly, because Krishna is the Sakshi, he is the witness. Krishna never allows any unjust to happen. If we think something unjust has happened to us, that is because we don't have the whole picture of our millions of lives of sins that we have committed, which is catching up to us. So that perspective the scriptures give us. And when Lord Shiva restores the head of Daksha with the sacrificial goat, then immediately Daksha feels remorse. He feels sorry for his actions. And in tears of sorrow because of losing his daughter, he prays to Lord Shiva. And he expresses his gratitude to Lord Shiva that although I acted with envy, you did not withdraw your mercy. You punished me, but you did not withdraw your mercy. This is a very important point to understand. That if Krishna and the Vaishnavas withdraw their mercy, what hope will we have? Punishment is good. At least mercy is there in that chastisement. But somehow or the other, if we go away from Krishna consciousness, saying that, no, how dare this person do this to me? Or how come Krishna is punishing me like this? That's actually, we are closing our doors to receive the mercy. And full credit to Daksha Prajapati. He's a great personality. He's a Prajapati. And he committed mistake. That's a mistake. But when the time came to rectify it, he fully accepted responsibility. And he expressed gratitude. Thank you, Lord Shiva. You punished me, but you did not withdraw your mercy. You kept your mercy there. This is the quality of Lord Shiva, that he is Udara, he is magnanimous. No matter what we do, Lord Shiva forgives. He may reprimand us, he may punish us, but even in that punishment, everything meant is for good of us. Lord Shiva then advised on how you should complete the yagna, and they all started doing the yagna. Now, by this time, there was no envy there amongst any living entities. Daksha had reformed. All the misalignment of hearts had been resolved, and then actual Samkirtana began, actual sacrifice began. And in that sacrifice, Lord Vishnu immediately appeared. So Lord appears when there is no envy. If there is little envy, the Lord will not appear. And the Lord became pleased by such sacrifice. And we see when the Lord appeared, different personalities, the demigods, the Gandharvas, Lord Shiva, Daksha, Brahmaji, Indra, they're all glorifying the Lord and offering prayers. And this is what Prabhupada extensively covers in the purport, that Krishna is Bhokta Ram Jagnatapsam. He is the enjoyer of the sacrifice only. Everything actually is meant for him. Prahlad Maharaj, very nicely, this point Prabhupada covers in the purport. It's a direct translation of verse that Prahlad Maharaj speaks, that people sometimes say that if he's self-satisfied, then why does he need stuff from us? Prahlad Maharaj says that Naivatmana Prabhurayam Nijalabha Purno. That my Lord, you are Nijalabha Purno. You are Purno, complete, and you don't need anything to gain from anyone else. You are Nija. Nijalabha means you get within your own self everything. Naivatmana Prabhurayam. You don't need it from anyone else. Nijalabha Purno. Manam janad avidusaha karuno vrinite. But avidusaha, foolish people think, oh, you need something and they should do something for you. However, they fail to recognize that this is your karuna, that you are giving them an opportunity to save. Like a father doesn't need anything from the child, but he gives the child an opportunity to save him. Whatever the child gets, if he goes first and gives to father, father becomes very happy. Yad yajjano bhagavate vidadhita mana. Prahlad Maharaj goes on to say that whoever personalities, they make an offering unto Lord, where does that offering go? Tatchatmane pratimukhasya yatha mukhashri. That offering actually is like looking in the mirror. We decorate ourselves, we put the tilak on, the ladies may put jewelry on, we put it on our body. But guess what? The mirror also becomes decorated. So similarly, when we offer to Krishna, we become fulfilled. This is the great science to understand. Lord is no need of anything. In fact, here it is said that although he is the enjoyer of all sacrifices, but he only took a portion from it. In Vrindavan, once one Mayavadi sannyasi had come and he said to Srila Prabhupada is giving class on this verse, Patram Puspam Phalam Toyam. One offers leaf, fruit, flower, water to me with love and devotion, I accept it. And so the bhoga was there, offering was there. So that sannyasi said that the Lord hasn't accepted it, it's still there, it's left there, he hasn't eaten it. So Prabhupada said, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ashnami Pretatmana, I eat it. Who should I believe, Krishna or a rascal like you? So we should have faith. Yes, he is Shriya Patir, Yagnapati Prajapatir, Dhyam Patir, Lokapatir Dharapati, Patir Gatis Chandhaka Vrishni Satvatam, Prasidatam me Bhagavan Satam Patihi. Shukdev Goswami very nicely plays that he is Shriyapati, he is the husband of goddess of fortune. He is Yagnapati, he is the only enjoyer of sacrifice. If we want to claim proprietorship of the results of the sacrifice, then we are acting in mode of ignorance like previously Daksha did. But now Daksha is doing sacrifice not for his pride, not for himself, simply for satisfying Vishnu. And very nicely Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that aham hi sarva yagnanam bhokta cha prabhur eva cha. Aham means I, he, certainly, sarva yagnanam, of all the yagnas, I am the enjoyer. Bhokta, I am the bhokta, I am the enjoyer of all the yagnas. Bhokta cha prabhur eva cha, I am the master of all the yagnas. Natu mam abhijananti tatvena taschavanti te. Those who don't know this, they fall down from their position. What is that fall down? In the next verse Krishna says, Yanti deva yatha devan. They go to the planets of demigods. In the planets of demigods, when the piety expires, they drop again to the material world. Bhutan yagni bhutejya. They go to the planet of ghost. They go to the planets of forefathers. However, those who exclusively worship me, they come to me. So, the last point Prabhupada here mentions is that Vidura is addressed as Anagha. What does Anagha mean? Sinless. Agha means sin. Sin personification. You know, in the pastime of Aghasura was this great serpent, sin personified. So no matter how sinful one is, but somehow or the other he gets the mercy of Krishna, all good happens to him. So Aghasur had opened his mouth wide, and he had invited all the cowhead boys and the calves to get in. Of course, he wanted to swallow Krishna and kill them all. And so when he left his mouth open, Krishna entered, and of course, Krishna, like a glue, he just blocked the air passage, and Aghasura suffocated and left his body through Brahmarandra. And Bhagavatam describes that Aghasura's soul was just hovering around the sky, just waiting. Waiting for what? Krishna. When Krishna came out of the mouth of Aghasur with all the cowhead boys and the calves, then the soul just entered Krishna's body. And Bhagavatam mentions that this wasn't a Sayujya Mukti, because through Krishna's body, then Aghasur went to Golok Vrindavan in service of the Lord. Prabhupada wonderfully writes in the purport that Aghasura opened his mouth wide to invite Krishna, and Krishna opened the doors of Golok Vrindavan and invited Aghasura. Now, where is the standard of mercy we'll find anywhere else apart from our Supreme Lord, Krishna? So, our sins can be very quickly eradicated if we simply surrender onto Vaishnavas. Therefore, it is said, Vaishnavanam yatha Shambhu. So, Lord Shiva did not delay, did not wait even a moment to just forgive Daksha Prajapati. He did not put conditions in. Okay, condition number 1, you have to do this. Condition number 2, you have to do this. Condition number 3, you have to do this. Fulfill all these requirements. Then come to me and I'll think about it. This is bureaucracy. Responsible spiritual master, responsible authority means wide heart, gives benefit of doubt. His only interest is everyone engages in devotional service of Krishna somehow or the other. So when this mood is existing, then Prabhupada in the purport here writes, no possibility of offending any demigods, and thus the demigods are also pleased with Vaishnavas. So the demigods know that the devotees are akinchana. Akinchana means they don't have any personal desires. The demigods become insecure when the person has desires and they do austerity. But if they see a Vaishnava, Vaishnava basically means their only desire is to serve Krishna, nothing else. So then demigods become happy. Yeah, bless the person to progress on path of Krishna consciousness. So this position of Vaishnava is the greatest, because even Krishna wants to follow such persons. Sadhava hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayam tokam mad anyatte na janati nanyam tebhyo managapi. He says that I am in the heart of my devotees. My devotees are in my heart. Apart from them, I don't know of anything else, and my devotees also apart from me don't know of anything else. Thank you so much, Prabhus, Matajis. Any questions or comments? Lord Shiva is authority. So, like a father reluctantly punishes the child so that the child can go on the right path. So that punishment is mercy. It's it's not a curse to rot in hell eternally. It's a merciful deed. So similarly, the role of the spiritual master, if he sees the disciples, going in a direction which will be detrimental for their devotional service, is to pull the strings back, chastise, reprimand. It's not, but if one does not say anything, does not do anything, and let the person do whatever he likes, then the mercy has been withdrawn because that person is just going and destroying himself into oblivion. So that's why it is said punishment by the Lord is a good thing. But withdrawal of mercy is bad. If mercy is withdrawal, what is the purpose? Like, what after yagna is done, what does everyone do? Here. Main business. Glorify Krishna. So in Krishna, everyone is glorifying Krishna. And that is the best thing. Bhagavatam, Sud Goswami describes, Yam Brahma Varunindra Rudra Maruta Stunvanti Divyaistavai Vedai Sangha Padakramopanishadair Gayanti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasam Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam na vidusura suragana devaya tasmai namaha. So Yam, Brahma, Lord Brahma, Rudra, Lord Shiva, Indra, Marutas, all the demigods, Varuna, along with the Vedas and its different colories, they are singing the glories of Krishna. Gayanti Yam Samagaha. So, singing Srimad Bhagavatam and in association of devotees, this is all in all. This is how, while we are in the material world, we can nourish each other. Krishna says, what is that? Please repeat. Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam Kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So those devotees who have given their hearts to Krishna, their prana, life to Krishna, and with one another, bodhayanta parasparam, they console each other, they pull each other up, they drag each other towards devotional service. And the basis of that is what? Kathayantascha mam nityam. Krishna Katha. Srimad Bhagavatam is the basis for that. And with such exchange centered around Krishna Katha, tushyanti cha, ramanti cha. They are satisfied and they are nourished. Ramanti, they feel the pleasure. This is all in all. This is the nourishment. When this nourishment we get, other things that we thought is the need of the body becomes extinguished in due course of time. So as we mature in devotional service, we will experience that really this is a real thing. This nourishment is real. We don't need anything else. When love for Krishna is in the heart and filled, then other things, other anarthas will not come in. Therefore, our only focus and our only business, we should try to make it, is, as much as possible, be with Bhagavatam and chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any other questions? Hare Krishna. I didn't get the last part in reference to the. No, Lord Shiva does not harm anyone. He can become very easily displeased, but even the reason for his displeasure is to direct the living soul in the right direction always. Sometimes some people disturb him and ask for benedictions, so he just quickly gives the benediction, which may not be good for them. But eventually Lord Vishnu always takes care of it. But Lord Shiva's punishment always results in auspiciousness, in good things. Yes, Prabhuji. Shaktiyavesha avatar means he is empowered. So empowering, so being still, he is a Jiva Tattva. He is not Swayam Bhagavan. So to use that as an example, Krishna gives that role. So for example, Vyasadeva is described as a perfect living being, but we see Vyasadeva even missed the point. He divided the Vedas, he wrote Mahabharata, he, so many Puranas he wrote, but still he was dissatisfied. And it had to take Narad Muni to come and, clear his mind off. Because he did not exclusively glorify Krishna, and he gave more emphasis on economic development, religiosity, mundane religiosity, fulfilling of desires, and then ultimately mundane liberation. So in Bhagavatam we find various examples of great personalities who have temporary fall back, and then they again step forward. So Prithu Maharaj, of course, is Satyavesha Avatara, but Satyavesha, he is empowered to that extent of being the ideal king to rule over and guide the whole earthly population in that worship. But that doesn't mean that they may not be tiny, because he is not the Swayam Bhagavan. He is perfect in all respects, but yet, if Krishna desires, then Krishna says, Prabhupada says in one of the purport, if the Lord desires, then the pure devotee can act in a way that is not befitting a pure devotee's conduct. I can't remember where that purport is, but there is a purport to that effect. Yeah. जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Again, so nice to be here in Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Dham. We're all very fortunate. You're under their shelter. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, how are you? It can be. Well, the important thing is not to think about anything while chanting and just hearing the sound vibration. That's. No, but Srila Prabhupada says that chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra surpasses the sensual, mental and the intellectual state. If you are chanting with attention, then it is pure chanting. It's not that. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yeah.